皆さんこんにちは。近江アカデミーでは高校生、大学生、一般、そして英語教員といろいろな人を対象にして全くの違和感なしに英語の訓練をしています。というのも皆従来の日本の英語授業にはない体験を近江アカデミーに求めてきているからです。従来の英語授業にはないもの、それは古代ギリシャローマから西洋文化の中に脈々と生きているスピーチとドラマ学をもとにしたトレーニングです。中でも中心的なものは音声解釈表現、すなわちオーラルインタープリテーションという解釈と音読が一体になったものです。これが英語教育法としてフォーマット転換したものが近江メソッドというものです。このレッスンには東京から柴原智之さんが来られました。柴原さんは英国の BBC でエリザベス女王在位50周年式典の通訳を務められ、現在 NHK の通訳者であると同時に神田外語大学で教鞭をとっていらっしゃいます。南山大学講師の熊井京子さんの質問に柴原さんはこう答えていらっしゃいます。
ですけれども、どういう思いで今日いらっしゃったのかな、もしくはこの近江先生の教授法というかやり方に興味を持たれたのかなっていうのにちょっと興味がありまして、
英語教員として見たティーチングメソッドとして非常に有効だと思うので、ぜひその先生の経過に接してみたいっていうのが7割で、あとは純粋に英語の学習者として先生にこう教えを請いたいっていう部分が3割っていう感じでしょうか。なんて言うんでしょう、やっぱりそういうわけでもう7、8年ぐらい前にその感動する英語に出会って、これはと思って使った。でも申し訳ないんですけども、生かしきれなかったんですね。それが悔しくて、こんなに感動してるのは私一人だけみたいな感じでモード転換なんかが本当にもう肝なんですけれども、転換のさせ方が私自身もよく十分に分かってなくて、このポイント、7つのポイントっていうところもちゃんと今日お伺いして改めて、そうかそうだったと思ってるんですが、それを本当に教えるっていうのはものすごく難しい。で、近江先生がそれをどういうふうにやってらっしゃるのか、でその前のいろんな音声指導のことをですね、今日到着した直後にやってらっしゃいましたけど、ああいうところもすごく難しくて、どういうふうにやったらいいのかっていうのを自分なりに自己流でいろいろやってはいるんですが、やっぱり家元って言ったらおかしいですけれども一度先生に直接お話を聞いてみないとこれ話は始まらないだろうなと思って、そんな思いで参りました。
この日はいくつかの教材が取り上げられましたが、近江先生はなんと柴原さん自身が担当されている2013年度の NHK ラジオテキスト攻略リスニング4月号の Overpopulation についての文章を取り上げたのです。どんな食材でも料理はできると近江先生は言います。ではこの英文が近江メソッドによって料理されていくとどのようになるのでしょう。
はい、皆さん聞いてください。最初のところでいいですよ。Reasonable quality of life.
Guess what the population of the world is? 5 billion? 6 billion? It's actually over 7 billion, and it's growing every year. It's been growing every year, especially these last 50 years. We're living longer than ever, thanks to the medical advancement and improvement in living standards, and that means even more people.It's estimated that there will be more than 8 billion people on Earth by 2040. It might even be upward of 10 billion. Surely that's not sustainable. There's got to be a limit on the number of people who can live on this planet and have a reasonable quality of life.
Let me ask you some questions about this piece. Make sure you have really understood the essence of the taught me for saying this here. Okay.Now, who is the speaker? Who do you think is the speaker? Can you imagine?
He's a university student talking to other university students.
Oh, really? University students talking
to his friends.
To his friends, I see. Could be a college teacher talking to his students, maybe. That's possible. That's possible, isn't it? It so happens that in this case, well, you know already that who is the speaker of this.
Actually, that's what I had in mind when I was translating this.
But we're not interested in facts. What we are interested in is this just, are you really aware of who you are as you're saying this? And it's quite possible that you're just saying this or going through the motions of the expressions without really knowing what you're talking about. But Mr. Shibahara, 自分がこれ、のつもりで喋っていただける。喋ってたかどうかっていう。そして、Did I hear you talking to this university student talking to his classmates, classmate, or classmates?
Classmates.
Mates. I see. 皆さんを見てましたか？で、見てたわけじゃないけれども、つまり要するに一生懸命読んでくださったけれども、the question is whether or not you're aware of who you're addressing. It's quite possible just go through the motions without really knowing. そこのところなんですよね。だからもう大変なんですよ。はい、そこで喋るってこと。それからこれってまだあるよ。情報を伝えてたみたいだけど、情報を伝えるのもできる。それとも、guess what the population of the world is? People increasing. 5 billion, 10 million. I don't know at this rate. I don't know what's going to happen by 2040. Good thing I won't be around, but っていうふうな非常にペスミスティックなトーンなのかな。大勢いた方がいい。The more the merrier, definitely. って感じで、キラキラしながら喋ってるのかという、目をキラキラさせながら、喋ってるのかとかね、とか、こちらの方のその気持ちもあるけども、聞いてる方の人間がどういう人間かっていうふうな。Hey, guess what the population of the world is? 5 billion. 6 billion? It's actually even over 7 billion. 7 billion か7 billion. ビリオンビリオンって来てるんだったら、ビリオンはもうニューインフォメーション、旧インフォメーションだから、6 billion? No, it's actually over 7 billion. また7 billion. And it's growing every year. It's been growing every year, especially these last 50 years. We are living longer than ever, thanks to medical advancements and improved living standards. That means even more people. It's estimated that there will be more than 8 billion people on this. ちょっと他の8 billion people. そうな、8 billion people でいいかもしれないね。8 billion people because we're talking about billions. だから8 billion people on this earth. I have exempted 8 billion people on this earth by 2040. っていうふうにそこのところでこう強調すべきところをピンピンピンと強調していくね。情報を伝えるだけで、ね、グッドニュースでもバッドニュースでもないけども、数字がすごい数字なんだっていうところ、7、6、5、4、そこを強めるか、ビリオン、ミリオン、そこのところが分からない人がいると、2人の人間が混在しているオーディエンスの中で、どっちを強めていくかっていうふうなことを考えちゃうというふうな感じだよね。はい、どう？はい。じゃあ、読めばいい。読めばいいってことは言えない。このクラスで読めばいいってことは言えない。
これを読んで、そういう表現をすればいいんですね。
ここに来て、ただ読むということはありえません。つい言ってしまったようです。でもこれはよくある誤解なのです。誤解とは、音読や音声表現は暗記をしてしまった後のお化粧程度のものではないかということです。7つのポイント。誰が誰に向かって、いつ、どこで、どういう目的で、何を、どのようにという問いかけは、単なる表現の問題ではありません。それら7つのポイントは、すべて文字テキストの中にもともと組み込まれているのです。それを発掘し、自分の声に出してみることは、表現の問題というより解釈の問題なのです。オーラルインタープリテーションが別名、インタープリティブリーディングと言われるのはそのためです。 それはコミュニケーション的精読なのです。
Guess what the population of the world is? 5 million? 5 billion? 6 billion? It's actually over 7 billion.
7 billion. Million?
No,
Excuse me.
no,
Million?
billion. Billion.
Billion. Oh, I
7
see.
billion.
Uh-huh.
And it's growing every year. It's been growing every year, especially these last 5 years.
余計なことを強めないようにしよう。
はい。
It's growing every year. It's been growing every year, especially these last 50 years. 一つの文の中に強めなければならない言葉っていうのはいくつもない。それをどこもここも丁寧に言ってしまうのは、これ学校の先生のようにですね。It's been growing every year, especially these last 50 years, period. なんか We're living longer than ever. ね。Thanks to medical advancements and improved. そういうふうには言わない。何を強めてるのかわけのわからないです。だから通訳の人たちがこの大切な情報だけをピックアップするってこう書くでしょ。だから大切な情報がやっぱり大体アクセントが強まる場合が多い。他を流すっていうか流しはできないのね。でどこもここもはっきり言い過ぎちゃってで結局何言ってるのかわけのわからないとか思うんです。はい。
It's been growing every year, especially these last 50 years. We are living longer.
Last 50 years. Last 50 years.
Last 50 years. We are living longer than ever, thanks to medical advancement and improved living standards. And that means even more people.
わかりにくいんだよね、やっぱり。We are living longer than ever thanks to medical advancements and improved living standards. Thanks to medical advancements and improved living standards そんなに強めたい、今日強めてもいいけど、We are living longer than ever thanks to medical advancements and improved living standards. And that means even more people. つまりどんどん人間が増えていくということに焦点が当たるように言わないと余計なところを強めたりするから聞いてる方が分からなくなってしまうんです。はい。
Thanks to medical advancement and improved living standards, and that means even more people. It is estimated that there will be more than 8 billion people on the earth.
あれなんでそうって今地球での話に決まってんじゃないの？火星の話してるわけじゃないでしょ。
On this earth
だから
by
ね、will be more than 8 billion people on this earth by 2040.
will be more than 8 billion people on this earth by 2040. It might even be upward of 10 billion. Surely that's not sustainable. There's got to be a limit on the number of people who can live on this planet and have a reasonable quality of life.
これじゃあ、そういうふうに喋ってる自分が Can you imagine yourself talking like that?
おっしゃってることは本当にその通りだなと思いながらずっとお聞きしてるんですけれども、結局先ほど私も全然できていなかったというところがお見せしたばっかりなんですが、聞き手を意識するということは実はいつも通訳の授業のたびに、あとは通訳学校でも教え子に言ってることなんですね。誰に向かって話してるのか、話し手が違ってきたら同じスピーチを通訳するのでもそれが違うように訳さなくちゃいけないでしょうということは言ってるんです。
意識するということはこちらで言うのと混同しないでいいですよね。こちらは英語学習としてとりあえずは目の前にある素材というものの中に組み込まれている語り手と中に組み込まれている聞き手と中に組み込まれている目的というものをいっぱい出してその人になり変わって霊媒師がおじいちゃんやおばあちゃんの声を聞いてお前は勉強しなくちゃいけないよっていうのとそんなつもりで声に出すということをやるわけです。そして入ってさっきのモード転換みたいになった時にはさあもう自由な技が出るんですよね。Alright, now today I'm going to tell you share with you about my dream. My dream is 自分の話をするという世界に入っているんだけど、まずはこの、きっちりした言い分というものをそのレトリックとともに体の中に入れるという input precedes output and then input first and then output always in that order. That's what I keep saying. If it weren't for good input, there would not be good output. And this is where our interpretation comes in. to help your language input. でモード転換練習もね、やっぱりインプットのプロセスの中の一つなんですよ。いろいろやって、つまりこのクラスの中で起こることは全部転換練習も含めてインプットの練習なんですよ。で、外出て本番でしゃべるってことです。まあ、ちょっと違うインタープリテーションが2つ混在してるから混同しないでくださいね。でもまあ、どちらも、どちらを選んでどちらを取っているのではない。なんかちょっとついでにこの場合、はい、ちょっとみんな練習しよう。Guess what the population of the world is? 5 billion?
Guess what the population of the world is? 5 billion?
6 billion?
6 billion?
6 billion かな It's actually over 7 billion.
It's actually over 7 billion.
7だけで It's actually over 7 billion.
It's actually over 7 billion.
And it's growing every year.
And it's
It's been growing every year, especially these last 50 years in Nayamani. It's been growing every year, especially these last 50 years.
It's been growing every year, especially these last 50 years.
Plus the fact that we are living longer than ever, thanks to medical advancements and improved living standards, etc., etc. And that means even more people. もう強くだければ、その前のところでチッチッチッチッチッチッチッチッって流さなきゃいけないんだけど、はっきり言い過ぎちまうからダメなんだ。それから流す、激用語で言うと throw away って言うんですけどね。throw away をすることがなかなか日本人できなくなっちゃって、つい自分じゃ丁寧に言ってつもり気分よくやってるんだけども、throw away ができないもんだから分からなくなっちゃうからね。女の子がね、化粧してさ、このとこに化粧が赤いの塗るがいいんだけど、おでこにも塗るし、あっちにも塗るし、赤い服を着て赤い本を持ったりなんかしてるんだから、全然何を強めておるとするか分からなくなってしまうということになってしまうということですね。はい。はい、みんな言って。It's been growing every year, especially these last 50 years. We are living longer than ever, thanks to medical advancements and improved living standards, and that means even more people. はい。
It's been growing every year, especially these last 50 years. We're living longer than ever, thanks to medical advancements and improved living standards. That means even more people.
If you see someone, if you happen to catch a student stressing or emphasizing people, like that means even more people, then I know what I would do. I would stop it right then and there and say, why did you stress people? We're not talking about animals, we're talking about people. Why do you emphasize people? っていう僕言うけど。So, これはインタープリテーションなんですよ、やっぱりね。なんで people をするの？ We're talking about people. ね？ Not animals. そんな。even more でしょっていうふうなことになる。だから考えて声出さなきゃいけない。You have to be responsible for each up and down of your voice. You have to be responsible for each up and down. Because there is no line of demarcation between 表現, expression, and interpretation. They are one and the same thing. And so that's why I keep asking kids, why? Why did you emphasize it? Why?
ただ機械的に真似ればいいのではないかと言われそうですが、そうではありません。理解を伴いながら読むからこそ解釈が深まり、セリフがどんどん体の中に取り込まれていくのです。繰り返します。先に覚えてきて後で表現を工夫するのではありません。理解を音声身体表現化する過程を通過するからこそ有効に言語を取り込むことができるのです。
でね、ここから先はモード転換でもうすでにこれが皆さんの体の中に入っている。Let's say that this piece is already in, all right? Now we're going to go a step or two further. Now I want you to change a little bit, or to be aware of who you're speaking to. Let's say that this audience is made up of people who are hard of hearing, very hard of hearing. And plus there are a couple of people who keep confused between million and billion, like me, for example. Million, billion, which? Some people are poor at figures. わからない人間無常時を言うといいコミュニケーションの場面だと考えるでしょう。で、そういう人たちに向かって喋ってるというふうに変えていってみてください。はい、ちょっとこっちで。大変なグループですよ。英文
はかなり体の中に取り込まれてきました。 頃合いを見計らって7つのポイントをいろいろ動かしてみるモード転換練習に移っていきます。いろいろな場合に応用して使えるように刷り込みのさらなる強化を目指しているのです。近江先生はまず語り手、聞き手、目的を矢継ぎ早に変えて速攻対応させようとしています。訓練には多少の負荷がつきものです。これはやや上級者用かもしれませんが、このあたりは学習者のレベルに応じてきめ細かに対応していくところです。
Let's say that this person keeps confusing between million and billion, million and billion. That makes all the difference in the world. She's so, I mean, that's her, all right? いや、嘘かもしれないけど、そういうことにしておくんだよ。この辺の人たちはかなり耳が遠いことです。それからでこの人たちに、はい、まず情報を伝達するという目的だけはキープしながら、はい、喋ってみてください。だけども伝えなければいけない。
No. Guess what the population of the world is? 5 billion? It's a billion, not a million. It's a billion. It's much larger the number. You see, 5 billion, 6 billion. I'm not talking about 600 million. I don't know what it is. I mean, 6 billion. It's actually over 7 billion. Okay? And it's growing every year. It's going up. The number is going up every year. And it's been growing every year, especially these last 50 years. So for the last half century, the population of the Earth is especially going up, increasing very, very rapidly. Okay.
Excuse me. There is a contributing reason for the increase of the population, right? There is people live longer than ever, right? And people used to live to like 50 years or 60 years, you know. But now people live longer. So that means even more people. Is that correct? Why do people live longer than before?
Well, there are many reasons. Part of it is the improvement of medicine. They used to be killed by the disease used to take great toll in medieval centuries, but not anymore, thanks to the advancement of medical equipment.
So at this rate, the number of people will be increased to by the year 2014. I won't be around anyway. But
I could only say the estimate, but
その文章をそういう気持ちで言ってみてください。これは自由会話じゃないから、その文章にそういう呪いって気持ちを込めて、こういうオーディエンス、ちょっと癖のあるオーディエンスとか、いろいろ数字がわからない人だとかに分かるように言うという。
It's estimated that there will be more than 8 billion people on Earth by 2040.
8 million?
8 billion.
Billion.
It's 8 billion, not a million. You see, it's 8 billion. Okay, and it might even be upward of 10 billion. Okay, not 10 million. It would be a lot easier if it were 10 million, but it's 10 billion. Okay?
All right. Mr. Shida, are you a little bit on the pessimistic side or optimistic side? How would you consider yourself? Where do you stand on this issue? Let's put it this way. Where do you stand on this issue?
I think the situation is very serious. It's a grave situation. We have to be prepared, well prepared.
Okay. だからちょっとその警戒をいい概念になっているウォーニングの気持ちを込めてもうちょっと言ってみてください。
Okay. Surely that's not sustainable. The Earth can't stand it. Okay. So there's got to be a limit on the number of people who can live on this planet and have a reasonable quality of life. You see?
はい、今度はじゃあね、like I said before, the more the merrier というふうなノリで大勢人が増える。Because well, it's not necessarily bad news. Because remember our interpretation test. Remember what I said about if there are lots of people on this earth. That means that there are that many Santa Clauses. She asked me the question whether or not there is a Santa Claus, and I said if there are 7 billion people on this earth, since people are good by nature, that means that there will be 7 billion Santa Clauses living on this earth. Now, isn't that good news for you? っていういい話なんだというふうなノリでしゃべってみて。その時まだ信号中を変えない。
It's estimated that there will be more than 8 billion people on this earth by 2040. It might even be upward of 10 billion. Surely that's not sustainable. There's got to be a limit on the number of people who can live on this planet and have a reasonable quality of life.
内容がかなり足を引っ張っちゃって、オプティミスティックにはなかなかなりきれないんだけれど、はい、ありがとうございました。
内容、ファットをざっくりと変えてみます。一体誰が、一体誰に向けて、どういう内容を話している場面でしょうか。渡辺さん。
先進国では道路上の交通事故が減ってきている、そして死亡者の数も減ってきているということについて小さな会議で私は道路交通関係の人たちに対して話したいと思います。
というそういう場面で話してますね。はい。
Guess what the number of road traffic accidents in developed countries is? In developed countries, road traffic death rates have decreased since 1960s, thanks to successful intervention such as seatbelt safety laws and enforcement of speed limits, warning about the dangers of mixing alcohol consumption with driving, and safer design and use of road and vehicles. For example, road traffic fatalities declined by 27% in the United States and by 63% in Canada from 1975 to 1988. It is estimated that as far as developed countries are concerned, the number of road traffic accidents will decrease more and
休憩
more.
後先生は Overpopulation の教材を離れ、以前練習してあった朗読劇の All Life をその場でしてみなさいと3人の受講生に命じてきました。受講生たちがこの英文の塊をどこまで使えるようになっているかを試す目的です。これはチャップリンの名作ライムライトに近江先生が層を得て、デール・カーネギーの道は開けるのメッセージなどで構成した朗読劇リーダーズシアターです。自殺しようとした踊り子を励まそうとする道化役者と、落ち目になった彼を必死に励まし返そうとする踊り子テリーの愛の物語が中心になっています。
The setting is a London, 1914. Carol Barrow, an elderly music hall comic, great star, saves a young ballet dancer from suicide.
Yes, life can be wonderful if you're not afraid of it. All it needs courage, imagination, and a little dough. Now, what's the matter?
I'll never dance again. I'm a cripple.
You're an hysteria. You make yourself believe that.
But is it true?
It is. Otherwise, you'd fight.
What is there to fight for?
you see, you admit it. What is there to fight for? Everything. Life itself. Isn't that enough? To be lived, suffered, enjoyed. What is there to fight for? Life is a beautiful, magnificent thing. Even to a jellyfish. What is there to fight for? Besides, you have your art. You're dancing.
I can dance without legs.
I know a man without arms. We can play a scales on a violin and that is all with its toes. The trouble is, you won't fight. You've given in, continually during sickness and death. But there's something just as inevitable as death. And that's life, life, life. Think of the power that's in the universe, moving the earth, growing the trees. And that the same power is within you. If only have the courage and the will to use it.
Calvero saves her from suicide and rekindles her will to live. On his part, however, he is not great star he once was. His manager even suggests that Calvero go under a different stage name. Even that didn't bring success to a new series that just got underway. The first night turned out to be a total failure. Most of the audience walked out on him. Torn and tattered, he returns home to his apartment, swearing to himself he would never go backstage again.
I'm not going back.
Why?
They've terminated the contract.
But they can't do that.
They can. They have.
But you are engaged for the week, then you insist.
It's no use. I'm finished. Through.
Nonsense. Are you, Carabelle, going to allow one performance to destroy you? Of course not. You have to get noticed. Now the time to show them what you're made of. Now the time to fight. Remember what you told me standing over the window? Remember what you said? About the power of the universe moving the earth, growing the trees, absorbing within you. Well, now the time to use the power and to fight. Calvero, I'm working. I'm working. I'm working. I'm working. Calvero.
The most important thing in life is not to capitalize on your gains. Any fool can do that. The really important thing is profit from your losses. That requires intelligence, and it makes a difference between a man of sense and a fool.
So to cultivate a mental attitude that will bring us peace and happiness, let's do something about Rule 1. When fate hands us a lemon,
Let's try to make a lemonade.
You and I ought to be ashamed of ourselves. All the days of our years we have been living in fairyland of beauty. But we haven't too blind to see, too satiated to enjoy.
if we want to stop worrying and start living, Rule 2 is count your blessings.
Not your troubles.
Finally, let us remember these words of William James. Much of what we call evil can often be converted into a blessing and tonic good by a simple change of the sufferer's inner attitude from one of fear to one of fight. So, let's
Fight for our happiness.
Oh, Earth, you are too wonderful for anyone to realize you.
Do any human beings realize life while they live it?
Every minute.
パフォーマンス上演自体を目的としているのではありません。表現の入力のための手段だったのです。ですから先生は現在残っている英語のさらなる定着を図るべく、ここでもすかさずモード転換に入っていきます。 しかも今度はオーライフの3人の読み手を前に、なんと先ほど来練習してきた NHK テキストのオーバーポピュレーションを絡ませました。いわば複合的モード転換です。この中でまず近江先生自身も現実の先生ではなく、地球の将来に悲観的な性格を帯びた教師役としてアドリブで質問を投げかけました。
But I feel that the way the world population is growing up, you know, is the 7 billion, 5-10 billion people. By the 2040, there will be like how many people? 10 billion. I don't care anyway. The point is that I feel we're through. I have no future. I mean, I really don't know what the future will have in store for us, but I do know for sure that the world is definitely going downhill. And not just environmentally, but mentally and culturally, you name it. You know, I think the outlook for the future is really, really dark indeed. I feel I'm done. I'm through. In other words, what you're saying is what? In other words, what you're saying to us is that the world is, we still have hope.
Yeah. Don't be pessimistic. Believe in the power of the earth.
But the fact remains that there will be, how many people will be?
Possibly more than 10 billion.
10 billion people. It's hardly sustainable. What we're going to do with this? The more people, the more food to be needed and everything. And so no matter how you look at it, I can't think of anything about this situation.
But still, there's hope. And let's fight for our happiness.
Life can be wonderful if you're not afraid of it. All it needs is courage and imagination.
Yeah. The trouble is you want to fight.
I see.
You're giving in. Continue doing on.
Sickness and no, not sickness. Yeah,
Yeah. High blood pressure. And so tomorrow, but I still feel in the back of my mind, tomorrow creeps in this petty-paced frame from day to the last silver recorded time, and all our yesterdays have lighted fools that lay to dusty clocks. Out, brief candle. Life's but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and stretches out on the stage, and then is heard no more. And it is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing.
Nonsense, Mr. Omi. Are you going to let overpopulation confuse you? What's all the banging of the table and stuff? Japan has a wonderful know-how to save mankind. Now's the time to contribute to the world. Now's the time to fight. Remember what happened at the time of Higashi Nihon? Remember how the people of the world admired our decency to help one another amidst the rubble and debris.
Besides, what's the population of the world anyway? 5 billion? 6 billion? It's actually over 7 billions, and it is growing every year, especially these last few years. So what? Is that bad news? Not necessarily. So many people, so many brains.
Yes, see, you agree, Mr. Rami. So many people, so many Santa Clauses, so many hearts.
That's exactly what you said to me at the Orall Interpretation Festival at the Rose Court Hotel last year.
The most important thing in life is not to put up white flag before you fight. Any fool can do that.
The really important thing is lay our heads and hearts together. It's not going to be easy, but there should be a way.
豊かな虚構の世界で遊ばせるという勇気を持つことによって、感受性も養われると同時に表現も養われる。それをね、現実に合うことばっかりやってたら、I get up at 6 every morning and it takes 40 minutes to go to school. 終わり。That's it. 全然面白くない。だから豊かな虚構の世界で遊ばせるのがオーラルインタープリテーション、あるいはリーダースケーターの世界でもあるということです。
一度出会った素材はその都度リセットされることなく積み重なっていきます。そしてお互いに刺激し合って体に深く落とし込まれていきます。そしてやがて 自分自身の英語表現力となっていろいろなコミュニケーションの場面にきらびやかに躍り出てくるようになるのです。グローバル時代に役立つ骨太な発話力は話していただけではつきません。何といっても豊かなる言語入力です。近江アカデミー近江メソッドを通して随筆、評論文、スピーチ、劇、あらゆる素材を体にすり込んであなたの表現力を飛躍的にアップしていきましょう。